was terrified.
You barely even played.
I mean, I was an innocent bystander, so
Okay, so you played the part of innocent bystander.
I was still pretty scared. I was still pretty scared.
That's fair. Well, I mean, when you've got JJ's cannon of an arm,
Oh jeez. Oh jeez.
when you've got JJ's cannon of an arm, of course you'd be scared. That's all I'm saying. All right, real quick, before we move on to the actual announcements, we need to settle a debate here. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. I agree, but
Yes.
that's not what we're talking about. Now, I am a firm believer that there is a specific thing that is so very unholy and probably one of the worst things to ever exist.
Whoa, pause.
And of course, that thing, no, that's glorious. The thing I'm referring to is candy corn. Yeah, thank you.
Wait.
Thank you.
It's
All
so
right.
good. It's good.
All right, you
It's
go ahead.
good.
You go ahead and defend yourself. You defend yourself. We had this disagreement earlier. You go ahead and defend yourself.
Candy corn is good. I mean, how can you not like candy corn? It's like a Halloween thing. Candy corn is so good. Yes, it is.
All
You
right.
have to have it. Thank you. See? He
All right.
agrees. He agrees.
Okay.
He
All right,
agrees.
hold up. All right, let's take it to a vote, okay? Who thinks that candy corn is good? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
Who thinks candy corn is the worst? Thank you. Debate settled.
I think that was a tie. I think that was.
I think you might be right. I think it was the same number of hands.
Oh yeah.
My team was just louder. So.
I agree. Yeah,
All
they were
right.
probably pretty loud.
Anyway, well, that's that. But now to move on to some announcements real quick before we get into the message for tonight. So coming up very soon, we have Hume Lake. Woo! Hume Lake, and just so that we can get a little bit of a understanding of what it is, in case you guys have never been, because it is amazing and super fun. I've been 20 times. We've got a video that's a recap from last year, so let's roll that.
right, how you guys feel about this?
We're all good.
So
John.
good.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right, this is first place right
Terrified.
here.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All right, without further ado, let's continue. The next box sled that we have got here is going by the name of Malibu Barbie Dream Sled. Malibu Barbie Dream Sled. And it looks like they're ready to go. So Harry, are you ready down there?
I am absolutely ready. I thought you would never ask, Mikey. Let's send them up.
All right, on your box sled. Get your blades.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, that slow-mo kills me every time. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. How many of you guys actually went to Hume last year? Yeah, right? One of the most amazing places. What a great opportunity to connect with God and get closer to one another as we head up to the mountains. There's no cell service, so you literally are choosing to spend an entire weekend dedicated to being personal with each other and getting to know the Lord. It's an amazing time. So with that being said, next Wednesday, we are having in-person registration for Hume. So make sure to have a parent, bring a parent later it's gonna be after exchange next week. So at 8 p.m. sharp, the doors will be opening downstairs in the box for the registration for Hume. $99 deposit to hold your spot. And and Hume is actually gonna be from Friday, January 13th through Monday, January 16th. Now, we're telling you all about this now because next week with the registration, spots sell out quick. Like within 48 hours of open registration the night of. So, if you guys want to go, make sure that you talk to your parents, get registered, and come to next week so that you guys can get registered without being scared that there's going to be no spots left. And if finances are an issue, one thing that we are dedicated to is we never want finances to be an issue or a question that stops you from being able to spend time and having a quality and actual connection with God. So if that is you, if you're like, I don't know how I'm even gonna be able to afford the $99 deposit, I don't know if my parents are gonna be able to swing that, come talk to Robert, talk to me, talk to Josh, well, not Josh, because he's not here, but talk to one of the leaders. We will let you guys know about the scholarship opportunities that we have at the church, and we will find a way to get you guys to Hume to have that experience. So, that's it for Hume. And what's next, Chloe? What else do we have to talk about?
So on November 16th, we'll be having the high school Audi. So, yeah, get excited. So basically what a high school Audi is you will be going with your live groups and you'll get to choose whether you want to go to like Chick-fil-A, go out to like dinner, hang out, play games, Uno, whatever your live group decides what you guys want to have for fun. For the senior boys and girls, we will be going bowling.
Yeah. And why is that? Why do they get to go bowling?
We get to go bowling because we won the summer games.
Summer Class Wars winners.
Summer Class Wars, yeah.
We're not getting much hype for that. Come on.
Come on, guys.
Summer Class Wars was great. You guys did awesome. That was a great, so it's to celebrate, you guys are going bowling. It's going to be fun. But everybody else every other life group is going to get to go do something with your life group leader and with each other, whether that's, getting dinner or staying here and playing games or going and watching a show, hanging out together, just spending time together as life groups. So yeah.
All right, I'm going to lead us in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this night, and thank you for bringing everybody together and making us have a good night. I pray that you accept that you have all of these students accept your message with an open heart and open arms, and that they really take everything that you give them from this message and from the messages to come. I thank you for this night and for bringing everybody together safely and soundly. In your name, amen.
Amen. Can we give a round of applause for Chloe being on stage? If you guys ever want to have a role here and something you guys want to do and come on stage, let me know, and we'll definitely get you guys plugged in. I don't like seeing myself up here all the time. I'm sure you don't like seeing me up here all the time. You guys told me that last week when you guys applauded for me. But that's why I'm not on stage today. But if you guys want to come on stage, let me know. And it's good times. I enjoy it, and I think Chloe just enjoyed it as well. Hey, real quick, do you guys feel like it's Christmas almost, or is it just me? Yeah, all right. Who are my Christmas people starting to listen to Christmas music right now? Yeah. Hey, you know, who cares? Who cares about Halloween? You skip over Thanksgiving. You just go straight to Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. So earlier today, I came up here to practice, right? And then I left the parking lot to go back to work, and I'm next to this car. This car's like blasting some rap music with his windows down. I have my windows down. I'm lit, like, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, right? Like, this guy looks over at me like, what are you doing? But like, I have it full blast. Like, it's like 62. I'm like listening and blasting out the Christmas music. And I think it's Christmas time. It's like sweater season, scarves, like, pea coats. Yeah, that's where it's at. So I can't wait for Christmas. I just want it to come already. Well, real quick, you guys. So we've been in this series called How to Friend, right? And so a lot of you right now are probably sitting next to someone who's your friend, right? Probably a friend that you know through exchange, probably a friend that you know through sports, a friend that you know that you've probably gone through from elementary, junior high, and now high school, right? You guys have been friends for quite some time. But there's this crazy statistic that I just read that you have a 0.09% chance that you'll be friends with that same person you sit next to right now by the time you're 60. Right? Yeah, isn't that crazy to think that the person you're sitting next to, that you've probably been best friends with since you were probably in elementary school, you have a slim chance. That's less than 0.1% that you guys will actually be friends by the time you guys turn 60 years old. Right? So, I have friends, right? I have friends, right? And I say friends because I have like 3,000 Facebook friends. I know, right? That's a lot, right? I have like 500 followers on Instagram, right? I'm like Insta famous, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's called Remy and Robbie Adventures, right? So, it's the dog Instagram, really. But really, I don't really know half those people. Probably 3/4 of those people I don't even know, right? So, yeah. They just follow me for the dog. But I bet you guys, I don't even talk to my friends that I talked to in elementary school, right? We were best friends from kindergarten to 6th grade, right? And then we went to a junior high school, and I started getting involved with chess club. I started getting with Battle of the Books. I got involved with yearbook staff, student council, all these different clubs and organizations, and he didn't. So we kind of just split off as friends. Going into high school, I went to a different high school than all my friends. They all went to Santa Maria High. I went to Rigetti. And if you could throw a high school picture up, this is how it looked like in high school. Yeah, right? Yeah. I bleached my hair because my girlfriend at the time told me I should bleach it. And she liked Zac Efron, who had blonde hair. Yeah, and so you don't change for a girl, you guys. Girls don't change for a guy. But that's how it looked like. I think in like the pi. I think I was in geometry or something class at that time. Yeah, probably geometry. Yeah. So I don't know. That's how I looked like in high school. I even bleached my eyebrows, and it was really weird looking. Yeah, that's why I wore the glasses, you guys. That's why I wore the glasses. But anywho, you guys, I have two friends that I still talk to from high school. Can I throw up the wedding photo book? Yeah. So on my left-hand side, there's two individuals. One, her name is Amanda, and the other one is Spencer. Now, Amanda now works for the San Luis Obispo Sheriff's Department as a dispatcher, and Spencer lives in Czech Republic teaching theater and the arts and writing plays. And so those two are my friends from high school. Now, we went through so much together. Granted, we got in a lot of mischief together. I even went to college with one of them, Fresno State, and then the other one went to Northridge. But those are my two closest friends. And out of all my friends from high school, these are the only two that I actually still talk to this day. I just had dinner with one on Monday. Obviously not the one in Czech Republic. So, but I had dinner with one, and I love them to death. We always made it a mission that after every school year, from our junior year, we would go to Six Flags. And we did that all the way till 2015, that summer. And then we made one more trip, and that was because Amanda got married. And so we did it as a huge group. But those are my two closest friends, right, from high school. And then I have my college friends. We have Ken, who's directly next to me. He's a doctor. We have Philip, who is a librarian. And we have Ethan, who is a CEO of a music company. And so I love them to death. They're all my fraternity. Last week you heard I got kicked out of one fraternity, but I ended up being in two fraternities. But those are my closest friends all together, and I asked them to be in my wedding party. But, so with that being said, we talked about how to be friends, but during this whole series, but what do we do when it's time to unfriend, right? How do we handle when friendships drift apart or move in different directions? So, I'm going to do an illustration for you guys real quick. If you have a friend, and you're not too close to them, right? They're more of acquaintances. Friendships tend to just fall apart pretty easy like a shoelace, right? Pretty simple. One single knot, and that's it. Well, yeah, right? And then you have another friendship, right, who you've been with since junior high, since elementary school. Maybe your parents hang out with each other. Maybe you've known each other since babies, and you've gone to church together forever, and you've done sports. And then it's hard to break those friendships off and move in different directions. And that knot has all these memories. I really can't get my shoe off now. And it's a lot harder to take off. And eventually, your friendship dissolves. Right? Now I'm going to be up here footless. I'm sorry, shoeless. It's going to smell really bad, you guys. So. Yeah. So sometimes the change in friendship isn't over anything big. Sometimes the reasons aren't so clear, cut, and dry, right? Maybe the both of you had different opinions about something. Maybe you both had the friend who hurt you, or with their words or their actions. Maybe you had a friend who started to walk a different path. Maybe that friend wasn't a good influence like we talked about last week. Many friendships last for just a season. Friendships have the potential to change for the better or for the worse. So how do we go through that transition, right? How do we walk away and handle it well? How do we carry ourselves in a mature way, even if our feelings are hurt or emotions are involved? So a lot of you guys know who my dog is. Name is Remy. Robbie and Remy Adventures. Follow Instagram. Yeah. So when Remy was a puppy, can we get a picture of Remy when he was a puppy? Yeah. That's Remy. Yeah. So, all right. So how many of you guys have ever had a puppy before? Raise your hand. Okay. I'm not talking about like the puppy being like 3 years old when you adopt him or when you get, right? I'm talking about when he or she is just a small little bear thing, right? And so, as you know, if a dog touches the floor when it hasn't had all its shots or is in the field of some sort, it could catch a disease called parvo. And parvo could be a very deadly disease for puppies when they're very young, or dogs when they're very young. And so I was that guy. Have you guys ever seen like moms walking in Target and they have their baby like in front of their chest? Right? That was me with Remy. Like as a puppy, I had him. He's like his little paws out, and he's just like looking at everyone and like, oh wow, look at that, right? So I'm walking in Walmart, walking in Target. I'm walking everywhere. No one's stopping me because Remy's too cute. You can't stop Remy, right? So that was me. I was that guy. And after he got all his shots, I was able to finally place him on the floor, I felt like, right? In the safe location. This is at Fresno State. And like he's like holding onto my hand, like, what am I doing? Like I actually let him touch the floor, and he was freaking out. Like his eyes are all big and everything. And so, he finally got to touch the floor, which meant as a dog owner, and if you have a dog who's a puppy, you circle those 16 weeks. That's 4 months, right? As soon as they're able to go out into the real world. And I was so excited. I had them marked. I'm like, I'm going to take them to the dog park, right? I'm going to make some dog friends and everything. and as a dog owner, you end up like meeting new people, but you don't actually end up putting their actual name. You end up putting their dog's name in your phone. So you have Charlie's dad. That's how it is as a dog owner, right? And so, can I get a picture of the dog park? Yeah. So this is our crew. We call ourselves the DPC, Dog Park Crew. Right? Yeah, and so that was us. And we all met because our puppies were all the same age, and we all took our dogs around the same time. And that's how we really got involved and really close with each other. And we went to barbecues, we went hiking, we went camping, we went to the beach all the time together. That was our crew. That was Remy's crew. He was excited to see Milo and Bruce and just so excited. But for 2 years straight, we were going to the dog park every single day, right? At 6 p.m., as soon as I got off work, I got dressed, took Remy to the dog park, and we were there till 9 or 10 p.m., right? And they'll be there too. And then we'll go all have dinner every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Because we had nothing better else to do with our day, apparently, but have our dogs hang out with each other. And so that was our thing. But after 2 years, things started to change, right? We enjoyed hanging out with each other, but I got a new job. I was starting to have my faith and started to walk my faith, right? And another person got pregnant, right? The two married couple on the side here, she got pregnant, and so their lives started to change, right? Responsibilities started to change, and our friendships started to dissolve. We never hated each other. We still keep in touch every now and then, but our friendships started to dissolve. And so we can go back to the how to friend thing, but that was our crew. And so I'm going to kind of jump into a few things. So after Jesus no longer walked on earth, you guys, Jesus' closest followers, his disciples, were wondering what to do with his message, right? How to share it with work, and where to travel and how to do it and do so. So if you open the book of Acts 15, verse 36 to 38, if I could get that up, tech team. I'm going to give you guys some background real quick. Here are two dudes, right? Paul and Barnabas, right? And they're just, they're wanting to continue the work and spreading the gospel. And so if we read through the verses here, sometime later, Paul and Barnabas, is that right? Yeah, sometime later, Paul said to Barnabas, "Let us go back and visit the believers in all the towns where we preach the word of the Lord and see how they are doing." Barnabas wanted to take John, also called Mark, keep that in mind, you guys, with them. But Paul did not think it was wise to take him because he deserted them and had not continued in the work with them in the work. So when they decided to go back and check on those churches, problems started to arise. So the Bible is filled with a bunch of different stories, and it's filled with a lot of information, right? Things that we can relate to today. Now, they don't have the word iPad. They don't have the word computer or any of those words, right? This is way back then. So a lot of the stories are kind of going to be a little different. Oh, I just realized there's a little cupcake here. But there's a bunch of different stories. This thing, I'm sorry. This thing's so cute. Look at that. It's like smiling. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to turn him away because he's distracting me. But yeah, so the Bible's full of different stories and how we could definitely relate to them. If we continue to read Paul and Barnabas, here are two guys who understood the power of showing grace and overlooking offenses and moving forward. So they had such a sharp disagreement. Can we get those next verses up, you guys? Acts 15:39 through 41. Cool. They said they had such a sharp disagreement that they, Paul and Barnabas, parted company. Barnabas took Mark and sailed to Cyprus, and Paul chose Silas and left, commended by the believers of grace of the Lord. He went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. So something my wife likes to talk about, and if you know my wife pretty well, she loves tea. And if you go anywhere in our house, there's a bunch of tea, right? And there's this thing, right when you walk in, well, kind of when you walk in, there's this thing that says, make tea, not war. And so she believes that if you get all the world leaders in the same room and have tea, there'll be world peace. Now, I disagree. I think it's Slurpees or something else. But she really thinks that if you get tea, if they have tea, they'll magically have world peace. But if we can't make peace, we need to set boundaries, right? So any type of conflict is always a big deal when you're the one when you're one of the people involved. So you can, like Paul and Barnabas, have a friendship-ending disagreement while still going through your life in a way that doesn't impact you or the other person for the worse, right? What's interesting about the story, that this story does not end in a conflict, right? You don't see Paul talking crud about Barnabas. You don't see Barnabas talking crud about Paul, right? The author of Acts, Luke, goes on to say that the two men, Paul and Barnabas, kept going in the important work they were doing. They kept telling others about Jesus, even though they weren't doing it together anymore. So think about it. They could have had this whole conflict in their relationship as friendship, which it kind of did, but it could have stopped them from doing the work that Jesus told them to do. Right? They could have let they could have let it impact the work that they needed to do. Right? They could have stopped talking about Jesus and started talking trash about each other. Now, I know, I hear you guys outside. I love every single one of you. But when I'm out there, I hear you guys like, oh, man, that person, oh, man, I'm not friends with them, and I'm going to just talk crud about them. I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm going to walk away. I do that because I frankly don't want to hear it. And I really don't want to be involved in that, right? But both Paul and Barnabas continue to do the work in spreading the message of Jesus with people, doubling their efforts, right? They split apart, and they continue to do the work in doubling the amount of followers that they're going to have, right? Their friendship changed and ended, but they didn't let end the mission that they shared. So what that means is you can experience a change in friendship and still have a positive attitude about the other person. You can, like Paul and Barnabas, have a friendship-ending disagreement while still going on, living their life that doesn't impact you or the other person for the worse. It is possible. My clear example of the DPC, right, the dog park crew. We didn't have necessarily a disagreement. We just had different changes in our life happen, right? And our friendships kind of just dissolved. When you're faced with the end of a friendship, you have a choice to be friendly, even if you're no longer friends. Now, that is possible. A lot of you guys are like, well, no, you can't. They're jerks. You can still treat them with respect when you're in the same place. Now, I know some of you are best friends in here, but I also know that some of those friendships have been broken. But you can still respect one another in this room and outside this door. You can speak well of them when their name comes up. I'm going to talk a bit more about that later. You can move forward with your life just like they can move forward with their life. The story of your friendship may end, but neither of the stories has to end. You can move on and not let it ruin your reputation by handling it poorly. That's what Paul and Barnabas showed us. Now imagine if they talk crud about each other. Do you think they would have been able, instead of like sharing the word of Jesus, as opposed to being like, oh, Bartimaeus, oh man, this guy took Mark out there, and like terrible dude, right? They would have not been able to spread the gospel like Jesus told them to do. So, the main word I want you guys to get here is forgiveness. I know we talked about last semester, we talked about during the relationship series, but really, the one word that's really big deal here is forgive. Identify why you're frustrated. Name your pain. Whether you're upset with them for making the choices they're making, or you're upset that they're no longer talking to you, or there's no reasonable explanation, or things have changed, and because of nothing someone did, figure out why you're upset. Don't try to figure out who's right and who's wrong. Just identify why you're upset. Then cancel their offenses, right? That might look like letting go of what you think they owe you. Canceling their debt. Softening your bitterness toward them and the circumstances. It's okay to be hurt or feel hurt, but don't let your hurt get the final word. As God has forgiven you through Jesus, pass that on to them. Ask God to help you extend forgiveness to them. When God helps us forgive other people, we see more clearly how God has forgiven us. Forgiveness is a change to see God at work. Forgive, then forgive again, and forgive again, and forgive again, and forgive again. Or if the friendship simply changed over time, well, we should just answer it and have everyone say hi. Or if the friendship simply changed over time and no one was at fault, it may have been realizing that there's no offense to forgive so much as a change to come with terms with, right? So my friendship, there was a guy that I was friends with in college. We were in the same frat, and we lived together for 2 years outside of college, and he was one of my closest friends, right? We used to play Call of Duty together. We used to play NCAA football, and we would demolish other people at it, right? We were just so good. And we lived together. He helped me with Remy. He was a great friend, someone I could definitely go to and vent to. But as soon as we, there was some sort of disagreement that we must have had. Till this day, I really don't know. The only thing I can figure out is that I was a jerk, and I've expressed that to you guys. Back then, let me tell you, I was the biggest jerk you'll ever meet. I would pick on you. I would say things up to your face. I would treat women with disrespect. I was that guy, right? And so he got fed up one day, and he moved out, and I was like, dude, what's wrong? And he's like, you know what's wrong? You're a jerk. I mean, he said a lot more worse words than that, but he used vocab I can't use on stage, but he used a lot of vocab. And I was like, whoa, dude, like, where's this coming from? And he just kept going on and on and on and on. And trust me, I was not as calm as I am right now. I was giving it back to him. And I had to realize, because that was a hitting point, and I think that was kind of a godsend, I think, to be honest, because that was more of a turning point in my life, right? And my friendship with that friend has never panned out. We don't talk to each other till this day. We have a lot of mutual friends together, which makes it hard because those mutual friends can't hang out with the both of us at the same time, right? But I've come to terms where I could forgive him for the things that he said to me, right? I want to be friends with him someday. I think he's a great guy. And so I've forgiven him, but yet he hasn't forgiven me, and that's on him. So Peter, another person who helped start the early church, said this: finally, all of you should be of one mind, sympathize with each other, love each other as brothers and sisters, be tenderhearted, and keep a humble attitude. Don't repay evil for evil. Don't retaliate with insults when people insult you. Instead, pay them back with a blessing. That was 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8 through 9. Sorry, tag team, I didn't give you a heads up on that one. But being a friend means walking away, right? And so I remember in elementary school, I got picked on a lot. I was like 4 eyes. I had pimples. I was a guy that was easy to get picked on. And you guys are really young, and I don't think you guys even know this show, but there is this thing called Little Bill. And so it was a Bill Cosby thing. It was animated. And there was this bullying episode. And Little Bill was getting picked on. And he just says, just say so. So this guy at an elementary school was picking on me every single day. He would say how my sister's ugly and all these things. And so he was just like, so I was just like, okay, so? He's like, well, your mom is so. So, like, he got so irritated that he walked away. Like, I was like, wow, this show, Little Bill, actually taught me something. And so, like, wow, like, and he just walked away. So I relate that back to the verse I just read earlier because, I didn't insult him back. And I wish I carried that throughout my entire college and high school life. But I didn't insult him back. I just said so. I took it. There was nothing. Why would I stoop to his level? I wasn't allowed to even use curse words as a kid. I don't even like using them today. So, but, he wasn't raised that way. But, so you can still continue to be friends, but it doesn't mean you have to become an enemy, right? You can pray for them, forgive them, be kind to them, speak well of them, and assume the best in them. Choose to be the one who takes the high road, even when it's difficult. This will be challenging, but the work is worth it, right? So being a friend means walking away friendly. It won't be easy, but the person that benefits you the most is you. Imagine the pain you'll spare yourself by not holding grudges. My friend is holding such a grudge against me, right? Starting wars or trying to get even. Seasons change, people change, friendships change. Sometimes people simply go in separate directions. But you can do it in a way that doesn't devolve the friendship or the other person. Just walk away. It's so easy nowadays that you guys could just unfollow people. Or you can just click, I'm not sure what you do on Snapchat to delete someone, but maybe just hide stories. I don't know what you guys do. But it's so easy to, if you don't want to be friends with someone nowadays, I feel like all you got to do is click unfriend or unfollow, right? You got to hide behind your iPad or your computer or your phone. It wasn't like that for me. You had to see the person on the daily, right? So my advice to you guys, and I'm going to continue one more time to say it, but being a friend means walking away friendly, right? So today is our end of our series of How to Friend, and I really hope that this strengthens your friendships with other people. I hope that you guys take this to heart, and during discussions with your life groups tonight, I ask, please, don't use personal names if you guys are going to share a story about a friend, because there's a chance that someone in that life group probably knows that other person that you're going to probably talk about. So let's just use the name Josh. If it's a girl, just say Josh. If it's a guy, say Josh. Or maybe say Josha. I don't know if you want to say that for a girl. But, like, whatever the female version of a Josh is. Jill. Oh, that's bad. Okay. Okay. But during your life groups discussions, please, you guys, please use confidential stuff. Please don't disclose other people's names. Respect the other people still, just like I just said before. So I'm going to pray us out. When you guys go to life groups, just be very cautious about that, all right? All right, Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for the message of how to friend. A lot of us in this room probably have friends, and we respect our friends, and we wish that those friendships can continue to grow throughout the years that moving forward. But Lord, I know that friendships tend to dissolve, and friendships tend to end. And so, Lord, I just pray that these students learn that to walk away friendly, still be kind to one another. We're still followers of Christ together, and we still love the Lord together. And Lord, I just pray that we continue to worship you and continue to follow you and discuss you in our life groups. In your name, amen. All right, you guys are dismissed to your life groups.